Electrolytes. Is that a good start?
Sure.
Okay. Let's talk about electrolytes.
Okay, so what do you think of when you think of the word electrolyte?
I think of Gatorade.
Yep, you're trying to replenish your electrolytes after you exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So what's in Gatorade that we call an electrolyte?
All those ions that you need. You need like sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium.
Okay.
All that good stuff.
So ions. So we're thinking of things in Gatorade.
Okay. Ions that make up ionic compounds. Oh my gosh, I think I'm having an epiphany. Can we just start?
Yeah.
Because I'm so ready.
Okay. So let's look at something like sodium chloride, which is salt. This is an ionic compound. Now, the first thing we have to check, we're looking for an electrolyte, which is something that conducts electricity in solution. Okay? If we can't get it into solution, it can't conduct electricity.
Okay.
So what do we need to remember?
Is it soluble?
Right. So you need your solubility rules because if we can't get it into solution, it can't move electricity.
Let me consult my solubility rules. Yup, it's soluble.
Okay, sodium chloride soluble. So it dissociates into sodium ions and chlorine ions in solution.
Sodium is 1 plus, chlorine is 1 minus. There's just one of each in sodium chloride.
Yep.
Okay, dissociation. It breaks apart. Right? Okay. So another example, right?
So this is an electrolyte, soluble and ionic. Okay, so let's do magnesium chloride.
Let me check those solubility rules real quick. Yup, it's soluble.
And it's ionic.
And it's ionic.
Okay, so we're going to dissociate into magnesium, 2 plus, and 2 chlorine, 1 minus.
Oh, 2 chloride ions. Why do I need 2 chloride ions?
Because every time that compound breaks up, it's going to give you 1 magnesium and 2 chlorines.
That's why it's MgCl2.
Right.
Perfect. See, she's always thinking. All right. Next one.
Okay, so aluminum sulfate. Again, we have an ionic compound. Aluminum's a metal. Is it soluble?
Yup, sure is.
Okay, so soluble ionic. We have another electrolyte.
But wait, we have 2
aluminums.
3
Plus.
And we have 3 sulfates.
So this compound's going to give us a lot of ions in solution.
Man, I should just drink aluminum sulfate.
Yeah, you could.
I don't think that would be very tasty. But, so they've all these dissociate, making ions in the solution, which can conduct electricity, making them electrolytes.
So if we're just looking at this, which compound do you think would be the most electrolytic or conduct the most electricity?
I would think the one that gives me the most ions is going to conduct the most electricity.
Yep. So the sodium chloride gives us 2. Magnesium chloride gives us 3.
So that gives us 2. Oops. Hold on.
You're so excited. You're messing everything up.
I know. Resume. Thank you. All right. So I get, this one makes me 2 ions. Again. This one makes me 3. And this one makes me 5.
Yep.
I think the 5 ion one is going to be the one that's the most electrolytic.
Good.
And as it turns out, it is.
Yep. Okay, so let's look at something that's covalent.
Okay, so
carbon tetrachloride.
Carbon tetrachloride. So this is not going to break up into any ions because it's not an ionic compound.
Right. So it can disperse, which means it stays together and just gets dispersed throughout the solution. But it's covalent, doesn't make ions, so do we think this is going to be an electrolyte?
I don't think it's going to be an electrolyte because it's not going to make ions.
Right. So it's covalent, non-electrolytic.
Non-electrolytic. So, and they disperse. They don't dissociate.
Right.
Awesome.
So let's look at something like calcium carbonate. Chalk.
Chalk. Calcium carbonate. Well, that is ionic. I know that for a fact. So we could potentially have an electrolyte here.
Right.
But I got to look at the solubility rules. Carbonates are insoluble. Calcium's not an exception.
So it's insoluble.
It's insoluble, so therefore it does not make an electrolyte.
Okay, so the most important thing, first check and see if it's ionic. If it's covalent, it's automatically not an electrolyte. If it's ionic, maybe. Then we have to check the solubility rules. So you're looking for something that is ionic and soluble. More
Cool.
ions, more electrolytic.
Great. Thank you very much.